As 2016 comes to a close, we here at Nerdist can't help but think about one thing: how we're one revolution of the sun closer to dying from an inevitable asteroid strike. But we also can't help but look back at the year in pop culture and sort them into carefully curated lists and select the best of the best. And first up, we're going to be talking about the best TV of 2016. Westworld. Are we guests or hosts? Are we man or machine? Are we human or are we dancer? At least two of those questions were posed by HBO's Westworld. The heady sci-fi series delivered the best theory crafting since season 1 of Lost, and jaw-dropping performances from the likes of Tandy Newton, Anthony Hopkins, Evan Rachel Wood, Jimmy Simpson, and so many more. While some of the rules of the show got wonky along the way, its thoughtful exploration of questions of consciousness and identity coupled with Wild West action made it one of the year's best. In case you're wondering, this episode was in fact recorded 30 years in the past. I'm the Dan in Black. Stranger Things. Our collective cultural fetish for all things 1980s culminated in one of the most addictive Netflix original series to date. With its killer synth score, multidimensional mysteries, and the best use of D&D since Community and the best use of Waffle since Parks and Rec, Stranger Things crafted a compelling mythology and delivered a thrilling adventure that we couldn't help but dissect. And remember, friends don't lie, so I'm telling you the truth when I say this is one of the year's best. And also, that sweater just looks okay on you. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. While the most talked about musical of the year was definitely Hamilton, the best on TV was undoubtedly Rachel Bloom and Ally Brosh McKenna's Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Anyone who's ever compulsively refreshed an ex's Facebook page or made themselves sick with hypothetical overanalysis is gonna find something to love about this show. Come for the surprisingly thoughtful relationship drama, but stay for the raunchy, delightfully self-aware songs about heartbreak and obsession. Or you could go see the Cats revival on Broadway. One requires you to put on pants. You decide which one you want to do. The People vs. OJ Simpson. If you time traveled back to 1994 to tell me that the ongoing OJ Simpson trial would eventually be turned into one of the best television shows of the year 22 years later, I probably wouldn't have given a shit because I was 6 years old and much more concerned with making my G.I. Joes fight my Spider-Man. But 22 years later, Ryan Murphy did just that by assembling an all-star cast to turn one of the most complicated court cases of all time into one of the most compelling dramas I've ever seen on TV. Seriously, I did not expect to like this show half as much as I did, so consider me guilty of loving this show. Steven Universe. While everyone sings the praises of shows like Rick and Morty and Adventure Time on Cartoon Network, and rightly so, many overlook the quiet brilliance of Steven Universe. Anyone who's ever wished they could be part of like the Sailor Scouts will vibe with this story of a goofy kid who finds out he has incredible powers and the fate of the universe is at stake. With a genuinely compelling ongoing story, unreasonably catchy songs, and humor that's smart enough for adults but accessible enough for kids, this cartoon is a real gem. And quite possibly the best thing on Cartoon Network. There, I said it. Sorry, cow and chicken fans. Game of Thrones. While Game of Thrones didn't take my suggestion to Weekend at Bernie's Jon Snow's dead body all season long, it did deliver some of the biggest and bloodiest battles, shocking twists, and bat-crazy theories that we've seen to date. The best part, or worst part depending on who you ask, is that this is the first time we've well and truly gone off book, which made each episode a visceral thrill because no one knew what was gonna happen. From the Battle of the Bastards to Varys secretly being a merman, maybe possibly kinda, I don't know, watch my episode on it to find out more, this episode of Game of Thrones was one of the best things on TV, period. And even Jon Snow knows that. The Americans. Guys, please stop sleeping on this incredible Cold War spy drama. Even though it gets passed over like so many firstborns every award season, this story of two KGB spies posing as Americans in suburban DC consistently delivers the best twists and turns on TV. Now, current geopolitics aside, this 1980s drama will have you on the edge of your seat and frantically running over to your window to spy on your neighbors during commercial breaks. I mean, guys, who knows what Mrs. Blornsfeld's really up to in apartment 3B, watering those damn begonias all the damn time? Is she working for Putin? Who knows? Preacher. It may have taken nearly 20 years to figure out how to crack the supernatural ultraviolet nut that is Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon's Preacher, but Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg finally did it, and the results are bloody and brilliant. With a vampire smackdown in a jetliner, exploding Tom Cruise, and a homemade arts and crafts rocket launcher in the first episode alone, this comic book TV show hit the ground running and sprinted to the head of the pack. It is absolutely something you need to see. Hand to God, I would do that, but I don't want to explode. Atlanta. Donald Glover plays a Princeton dropout named Ern, who moves back home to Atlanta and winds up becoming his rapper cousin's manager. Is he deeply out of his element? Yeah. Is he trying his damnedest to be a good man, son, and father in a weirdly relatable way? Yeah. Is there anything else like it on TV? Hell no, and that's why it's amazing. This show swings from surreal to serious to supremely silly in a heartbeat, much like Glover himself, and that's exactly why we love it. Honestly, he should probably call himself Adult Gambino, because he grew up a lot on this show. Bojack Horseman. Based on the amount of groan-worthy puns and dumb sight gags alone, Bojack Horseman deserves a spot on this list. But this animated series about an alcoholic, depressed, anthropomorphic horse pursuing fame, fortune, and an Academy Award managed to be one of the funniest, darkest, and most poignant comedies on TV. I mean, case in point, the best episode of this season was practically silent, for crying out loud. You know, that old chestnut, that old shut up, I'm not crying, you're crying. Celebrities, what do they know? Do they know things? Let's find out, chestnut. Black Mirror. In a world without the Twilight Zone to couch necessary morality plays and slick sci-fi trappings, Charlie Brooker stepped up to the plate to create a deeply unsettling series of 21st century techno parables that basically made me want to go throw my phone in a frickin' river. Considering the show's track record with deeply messed up episodes coming true, I am genuinely terrified for our future, but I can't wait to watch even more. And that, my friends, are our favorite TV shows of 2016. It was incredibly hard to whittle down this list. There were so many we had to leave off, but tell us, what are your favorites? What would you add to this list? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, give me the best thumbs up of 2016. Now be sure to like and subscribe, or else you might miss next week's show when we talk about the story of a spirited teenager in the South Pacific who sets out on a journey to fulfill her destiny of becoming a giant snake who eats John Voight in Moanaconda. Until next time, keep on digging. And a very special thanks to Amazon for sponsoring today's episode. Did you know that Amazon sells collectibles? They have millions of listings, whether you're a serious collector or just looking for that one unique piece from your favorite fandom. Rare Doctor Strange comics, autographed Marvel movie props, unique Star Wars items, and so much more. Go to amazon.com/Nerdist to check it all out. Let's open up the old mailbag, shall we? At Ashley Escada asks, do you consider a hamburger a member of the sandwich family? Damn, Ashley, asking the hard-hitting questions out here. All right, I think the hamburger is sandwich adjacent. I think it fits into the sandwich genus, but is a species unto itself. Hot dogs, though, are not sandwiches. They are Lovecraftian meat scepters not meant to be eaten by the likes of man. At Vernon Shaw asks, follow-up question, does cereal count as soup? Wow, Vernon. Wow, I'm worried about you, man. What the hell is this question? I mean, the answer is yes, it's breakfast soup, but wow, dude, talk to someone. At CrawlBD asks, if you could be haunted by only one Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, who would it be? Great question. Oh man, I'd probably have to go with like Freddie Mercury, because I feel like he'd be a ghost with great advice, a killer mustache, and incredible stage presence. And honestly, that's what I look for in a haunting. But what Rock and Roll Hall of Famer would you want to haunt you? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.